Hey guys, welcome to the stream. It's Monday night. It's time for some more work on our color settings. So without further ado, let's have a look at this. So if we go to our new color settings, what I've actually set up now is various settings in here. We now have a sort of blank version of our info screen, and now when we click on these we can see the difference to our buttons. Okay, and I still have to link these ones up to this new panel, so let's do that, shall we? And we obviously need to move this. Now there's a few things that are going to have to change here, but well, wait a minute till we talk about this. I'm beginning to like this here. And especially if you can change this stuff, it's going to end up looking pretty good, I reckon. So with that, let's have a look. So without further ado, if we go to our graph, and we are on the options at the moment, but the difference here is that we now have our widget right, and in this case we're going to be doing this thing here. We're going to be doing all this weird stuff with button style, except we're not. I'm telling fibs. So with this, are we doing that? So if we look at buildings blank, it's the image background. Okay, so we need to do the brush. Okay, so if we go back to here, if we go back to our options, we're basically going to set a brush, except we're not. It's image background, right? Image background. Okay, we're going to be setting brush I wonder if we can do this, set brush tint color, if that'll do it, because that might be an easier answer to everything. Right? Okay. Right, now if this disappears, that means that we've got a 0. Okay, if this is going to work, that is. So let's do that. Game colors. We'll select border color to green. So that works. Okay, so we can go back there. Exit. So that's a good start, folks. And the next thing we want is this. Well, we'll copy it then if you're not going to be playing ball. Right, and if we look at our details button again, it's text button name, but building name. So we do building name, where is it? Where are you? Building, get building name, and I think we can just do color and opacity here. Okay, well, we've got to set it though. So set color and opacity. Opacity. How do you guys pronounce that? Okay, so we're gonna have to do the same thing again here. Oh, we're not doing that. We're gonna make a slate color, and this is gonna come in here. So we can play that, options, colors, mouse over, purple, normal color, white. There we go. We can go border color, yellow, text color, blue. We can see it there. And now it's just our button color. So we paste that. And button, get button close. Color. And set color and opacity again. Put that in there. And make linear color. Well, if that's the case, we can just basically plug this straight in. Okay. So we can go to game colors again. We can choose the button for this. So if we want it to be that color, it's the actual background. Because that's the text. Right, and set that. Okay, and if we go back now, we say color test. Okay, and we've got our buttons, which are purple and white, which is fine. Then we can build the refiner, and once that becomes available, it should be green and yellow or something, shouldn't it really? I can't remember what I set it as, but anyway. So it's green, blue, and yeah, that works perfectly. Excellent. So there you go. So that all works. Our only issue now is the fact that we're not really saving it properly. And we probably need another save file, which is going to be a save file that's going to be used on every game. So it's going to be the basic settings, like for example the colors, right? So if you save the colors, then it's saved for every single game, right? So you can only kind of change the colors. Well, let's not say you can only change the colors in there, but there's certainly going to be a default saving of colors, yeah, if you get what I mean. So the other little niggly issue that was annoying me here was there is a button here in our main menu buttons. So we have got a main menu button, right? But this text here should be wrapped with a scale box. Now it might be that this scale box actually is to wrap the button, but we'll soon find out. But not like that. We'll soon find out like this. Yeah, the button is still bigger, right? So we need to actually wrap the scale button round the button rather than round this, right? So what we can do is we can just drag this. Actually, we'll not drag it anywhere. What we'll do is we'll undo, then we'll get this and we'll wrap it with a scale box. And the scale box, now is that going to, That's what we want. That was a lucky first button press. Now let's see how that's done for us. That's not done anything for us. Right. So our best idea here is to do manage data. And I'll just turn the mic off for a second. Okay, so it isn't kind of working here. So let's see what's going on here. Okay, so this isn't quite working, even though it looks as if it is here, but it isn't actually working when you put it in here. Now, it doesn't seem to be working for this one either. I have got an idea here though. I have got an idea. Hi Lenko, how you doing? What's the woe for? I don't understand what the big woe is for. Right, so I've just had an idea. And that idea is that this is no longer going to be a vertical box. This is actually going to be a horizontal box. Now, bear with me a second on this till I explain. So we're going to drop this in here. And in fact here. Okay. And if I'm right, yep, that's what I wanted. Right, so I've got an idea here. Bear with me guys. This is, I think it's a good idea. So this is the horizontal box, okay? And what we're actually going to do is we're going to drop our text first of all. We're going to drag this in here, okay? Okay, maybe we're not. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo the scale boxes. And apparently it's not going to let me. I mean, I could leave this scale box in. Right, I'm going to leave it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place that in there. Then I'm going to put the button text in here. Right? And then I'm going to put this button main in here. So that it looks like that. Right? Then we're going to delete that. We're going to delete our vertical box. Then our button main is going to right, it's going to auto, right? And our manage, this one, we are going to spin it. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to get this. And we're going to spin it on 270 degrees. Okay. And then we're going to check out our border here to see. Now, we do have this light thing here, but we're going to actually remove it. And wait a minute. What we're going to do is we've made a mess of this. We're going to put this back to 0. And what we're actually going to do is this button here, this is the one that we're going to 270. Okay. And the interesting thing about this is we want this image button main and we want this image button here. Now this isn't exactly working how I expected it to, and it's probably because we've got it set to that. Right, so we're gonna have to stop this, right? And we're gonna have to wrap this in a canvas panel. Wait a minute. This border here is a worry. And I'm guessing here you get an idea that I kind of struggle with widgets. Right, so I mean, this image here this border is kind of scary as well. It is sizing to content, but it's not quite right. I'm going to go with horizontal box, and we're going to wrap that in a canvas panel. In fact, we could do it in a size box. Right, and if we just do it as a center, 0, 0, then let's see that. Right. So that's more like what we want, okay? Except our text needs to be hard up against here, right? Which it is here. So I'm guessing we want to scale it to there, but that's not right. So if we do a fill and we say 10, and then for our button main we do fill and 90, it's kinda not spun that at all. Which let's see what our, so we do have this spun, right? So what we'll do is we'll change this, right, to text mode 1. Then in the button text we're going to add a text. And it's already got one, that's why. Right? And we can now remove that scale box. We could put this back in here, but it's not rotating properly. You see what I mean? So this button text should be 10%. Yep, it is. And this should be 90%, which it is. So our next issue is that it kinda isn't working right. We're getting the border, but it's kinda in the wrong place. Right? And it also appears to me that this goes back in here, and we remove this size box. Now the funny thing is, that's kinda right, except it's kinda not. So the button, the angle right, so that's the pivot, which is 0.5. Now that's an interesting concept. 0.5, which puts us exactly back where we were, right? But the rotation of the actual widget itself doesn't seem to actually do what we want it to do. So it looks like we'd have to create a separate widget that is like an image of the thing. Right, so as you can see, that's looking a bit weird. So I mean, the point is here, if we make that 20, right, and then this becomes 80, we're kind of doing the text actually kind of needs to be in the middle. But the kind of background needs to be see-through. That's kind of what I want, right? Now, that's kind of what I want. But I'm just wondering here. Yeah, see, that's making that bigger without actually. Right, so what we could do here is we could make this 15, right? And we could make this 50, but what we could do is we could add a border here, right, and then we could make this 35. Okay, and we could basically make it see-through. But this border here also has to be see-through. But then this border here is going to muck everything up. Right? Right, whatever I did there, that wasn't a good idea. Now that seems to have absolutely zero effect. That's just up and down. So I'm just wondering here what it would be the right pattern in theory, but no, it's not, because this is just working on a weird overall thing now. So this would be kind of a, yeah, that we'd have to do something like that. Right, now these might all have to be wrapped in borders now, because basically this border here is going to have to be see-through. Right, which means that we're not going to have the blue anymore. And what it fundamentally means is that we're going to have to wrap this thing. This is going to have to be wrapped in a border, right? Which is cool. Now, is that the content? So that's fine. Although it appears it's... Oh, I did the stupid thing again. Right, so we don't do anything with the content. We change this. Okay, that. And that now gives us a better... That's kind of what I wanted, if you know what I mean. Except this is obviously way off. I think I'd have to do separate a separate widget for this, so that it sets it all up properly and take it from there. But the general idea is there. Or did you guys prefer the other version? I think what we'll do is, I have received visitors. It is somebody's birthday and they've arrived back from the cinema. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to finish early tonight. So sorry about that, guys, but we'll end the stream now and I shall catch you all later. Tomorrow at 2 PM Central. Bye for now.